The prophetic clock unveils two distinct threads in God's redemptive tapestry, taking on separate paths for the church and Israel. Understanding these roles unlocks the end-time puzzle, revealing God's faithful plan. In Ephesians 5, verses 25 to 27, Paul paints a vivid picture. Christ loves the church as his bride, giving himself for her, to present her holy and blameless at the marriage supper of the Lamb, per Revelation 19, verses 7 to 9. This is a heavenly calling. The church, Jew and Gentile believers, cleansed by Christ's blood, destined to reign as kings and priests, like Melchizedek in Hebrews 7, verses 1 to 3. Melchizedek, king of righteousness and priest of God Most High, foreshadows the church entering God's throne room through Yeshua's sacrifice, per Hebrews 10, verse 19. We're not guests, but the bride, united with Christ before the tribulation begins. Contrast this with Israel, God's chosen nation, his wife in the Old Testament. Hosea 2, verses 2 to 5, shows Israel as an unfaithful wife, chasing idols, yet God's heart never wavers. Ezekiel 37, verses 21 to 28, promises restoration. God gathers Israel's dry bones from the nations to their land, but their tribulation suffering continues until the final bowl judgment, per Revelation 16, verses 17 to 21, when Jesus returns to redeem them, per Matthew 24, verses 29 to 31. Unlike the church's heavenly destiny, Israel's is earthly, a kingdom restored under the Messiah. Romans 11, verses 25 to 26, says a partial hardening has befallen Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles is complete. Then all Israel will be saved. The church, the Gentile-heavy bride, is raptured, harpazo in Greek, raptura in Latin, per 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 17, before Israel's tribulation refining. In Ruth 2, verse 2, Ruth gleans barley, picturing the church's harvest, per Matthew 9, verses 37 to 38. Her marriage to Boaz, post-Obed in Ruth 4, verse 13, is the rapture, per 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 17. Ruth 4 shows Ruth, a Gentile, becoming Boaz's bride, a type of Christ redeeming the church. Naomi, picturing Israel, suffers in Moab, a strange land, like the Jewish diaspora, per Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. Back in Bethlehem, her hardship continues, bitterness and loss, per Ruth 1, verse 20, until Obed, a Christ type, is born, ending her pain, as Ruth 4, verse 16 describes. Jesus, the Word per John 1, verse 1, is Israel's ultimate gift, ending their tribulation suffering in the diaspora and land at the final bowl when he gathers his elect. Boaz redeems Ruth. Obed restores Naomi, two Christ types woven into God's plan. The church escapes tribulation's wrath, per 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 9, raptured to the marriage supper, while Israel endures refining, per Zechariah 13, verses 8 to 9, 2/3 cut off, 1/3 refined like silver. The church serves as priest in heaven's temple. Israel inherits the promised land. God's word, every word a thread, weaves a tapestry pointing to Jesus, the heart of this plan. As Christians, are we living as Christ's faithful bride, our lamps burning with the Spirit's oil, ready for the rapture? The clock ticks, marking the church's heavenly glory and Israel's earthly redemption.